Hello, this is Keith All, and today's tutorial on website design and CSS is going to be regarding to this web page over here to the left, and how you can create sections and how you can create anchors within your menus, and also a smooth scrolling effect. So basically how this works is I created individual sections using the section HTML tag, and this is a basic menu where basically when I click on it, it's going to scroll down to the particular section, as you can just see. Also, you'll be able to know how you could get a smooth scrolling effect when you do click on it. As you can see, it's basically a smooth scroll whenever you do click on something, instead of it just totally jumping down there really quick. So let's go over here to the right. I'm using brackets as my HTML editor. You could get that at brackets.io. So this is the index.html file, and basically what I'm doing is I'm creating an unordered list for my menu items up here on the top of this web page. And I'm giving it an anchor basically by using a # or hashtag and naming these different sections within this document. And of course, the text that appears are hyperlinked, are listed up here. Down below here is where I create sections. Now sections, the sections tag just basically defines sections in a document. It could be used for chapters or footers or headers or any other sections of your document. This ID attribute of the section tag is basically is linked to what we have up here in our href value. So when someone clicks on it, it's got a value of section 1 or SE1, and it's going to match it up with these particular IDs. So this section right here is section 2. So whenever I click on section 2, it's going to scroll to that section, because this ID is unique to this value that's being passed up here in the URL. This data-text attribute, basically the data dash is HTML specific, and whatever you can name, whatever you put after the dash is up to you. I just call it text in this case. So basically when I access this attribute in my CSS document, it's going to give it a value of section 1. So in other words, this section 2 is being populated by this data-text attribute, and you'll see how that works in a CSS document. So let's go over to my style CSS here, and we'll walk through this. What creates the smooth scrolling effect is right up here. I'm going to apply this CSS style to my HTML tag, and the property is called scroll-behavior, and the value that you pass it is smooth. So let's comment this out, and we'll see what effect of it has. Now watch what happens. See, you don't see that smooth scrolling effect that you see. It just jumps directly to that section. So it depends on what type of effect you want to have on your website. So again, it just jumps directly to that section. You don't see that smooth scrolling effect. So I'm going to put that back in, and let's go over here. See how it scrolls down? You get to see the individual sections not periodically, but you'll be able to see it. Again, it's all based upon what effect you want to have on your site. I'm just in the body tag, I'm just setting the margins and padding in the font family here. This is now referring to, now I'm applying CSS to my section tag that we showed you in the index file. So basically I'm creating a height for each section. As you can see, I did a color difference between odd and even sections. I'm creating a height that's display property is set to flex. Justify content, meaning I'm going to justify the content that's within each section to be centered, and I'm going to align the items to be centered. Now this here, I'm going to use the Enth Child selector. So basically, what the Enth Child is, if we go back to the index file, I'm going to have multiple section IDs here. So, and CSS and HTML are able to determine if you have multiple tags in there named the same thing, it's going to give it, it's going to basically count each one of them and assign them in ascending order from 1 to X. Basically, in this case, I have 6 sections. So each one is going to be, this one will be section 1, section 2, section 3, so forth. So when I go back to the CSS file and I say Enth Child even, so I'm going to apply this background color to the even section IDs, meaning section 2, section 4, and section 6. And I'm going to do the same thing for the odd ones. So section 1, section 3, section 5. I'm going to apply a different background color to those sections, as you can see. Section 5 is a lighter color. Section 4 would be an even color, which is this color right here. So let's go over here. Now, the before selector for the section ID, I'm going to apply certain styles to it. And the one thing that you should understand about the before selector is you must always include the content property and its value. And remember back in, when I talked about the data-text attribute of the section tag, this is where it comes into play. So when this portion of the website is being displayed, it's going to grab the value of this data text and plop it into this particular section, depending on what section it's in. So it's going to come over here to the index file, grab the value for data text, in this case section 1, and it's going to apply it to this value. And it's going to put this value here, basically write it on the web page. And of course, the color of the text is going to be this color, which is black. It's going to set this font size, and the text transform property, I'm going to assign it to uppercase. So basically, all the text is going to convert to uppercase, and the font weight in this case is going to be bold. And down here, it's just a basic styling for the unordered list tag. And I'm just basically setting, justify content, background color, width, and everything like that. And I'm styling the list item under the unordered list tag. And the list style is going to be none. In other words, whenever you set up an unordered list, it's automatically going to default to putting bullet points right to the left of your list item. So I'm going to remove those bullet points by applying this style. Down here, it's just basically text declaration. Basically what that does, in the hyperlink, it's going to remove the underline here. So if I do this, you may not see it because it's black. Oh, it turns it white. See? It's got the underline. Like, you know, the user will know that this is a hyperlink thing. So I'm going to put it back to remove that underline. And as you can see, it removed it. So basically, that is the way that you can handle certain styling effects in your web document. From smooth scrolling to setting up anchor tags up here in your menus, to setting up sections, to using various other styling effects in your web page. Hopefully this tutorial was very helpful for you today. Come back often, subscribe to my channel, and click on the bell notification so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thanks again for stopping by, and always come back for more tutorials on CSS, HTML. I also use the Builderall platform, and I also use various other platforms from ClickFunnels to Aweber and Mailing Boss and etc. So come by often for those tutorials. Bye now.